Hey guys, we are going to talk a little bit about the rock cycle today. I am going to explain it some more. I'm going to show you a graphic organizer that I have, and I will upload a picture of the graphic organizer. So in case you want it, you can have it too. If you just want to listen to me explain it a little bit more before you do the activity for today, that's fine too. I just feel like you need a little bit more information about it before we can completely move on and before I can kind of gauge where you're at on the rock cycle. I feel like I need to explain it just a little bit more for you guys. I know you're all super smart, and I know you all probably completely understand. Miss Cup, you're probably thinking in your head, Miss Cup, you've talked about the rock cycle a billion times already. I'm over it. I know how igneous rocks form. I know how sedimentary rocks form. I know how metamorphic rocks form. I am sick of hearing you talk about it. Well, I'm sorry. But you're going to listen to me talk about it one more time. And then tomorrow you're going to do something with it. And Wednesday, you're going to do something with it. And then Thursday, you're going to move on to fossil fuels. So you'll be done with it on Thursday. And then Friday, you might have something else to do with it. But it'll be a bonus activity on Friday. So, and then we'll be done with the rock cycle until after break. You get a fun break from the rock cycle. Okay? All right. Just if you don't want this graphic organizer, you don't need the graphic organizer. This is just for you to listen to me, to kind of me talk through it a little bit better, just to kind of help you out a little bit more, okay? So it's going to be upside down when I first flip this over, but magic, I know, it's cool. It's science. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. Okay, so here the rock cycle is kind of in like a little triangle. Let me get my highlighter and my marker. So I probably sounded really far away. I'm sorry about that. But in this graphic organizer, my rock cycle is kind of in like a little triangle type thing. Sorry, I kind of like didn't make it a triangle because my paper is not wide enough. But it's kind of in like a little triangle type deal. And I really want you to pay attention to what this says right here because it's very, very, very important. Any type of rock can become another type of rock given the right conditions. So I can start anywhere on this paper. I can start absolutely anywhere. And I can become a different type of rock. It doesn't matter. So if we start with an igneous rock, and remember, an igneous rock is created when the cooling of magma or lava, okay, the rock, it depends on, the crystal size depends on how quickly it cools. So if I start with an igneous rock, I'm starting here. If I take an igneous rock and I weather and erode, and if it goes through weathering, erosion, and deposition, and when it does that, sediments form. I'll finish that. You can't really see that end of the word. Sediments form. And then it becomes a sedimentary rock. So I start with an igneous rock. I go through weathering, erosion, and deposition. And remember, I'm going to flip you back up to me. I'm sorry if you guys get motion sickness during this video. There we go. So remember, when weathering and erosion happens, we take those particles and something happens. Maybe roots come up through the rock, or water gets in between the rock and freezes and the rock breaks apart. And then we have erosion. It carries it away, whether it be wind, whether it be water. Something carries it away. Deposition, the settlements kind of start to settle. So everything is kind of like blowing in the wind or going through the water, and then it kind of settles. And then we have that compaction and sedimentation or cementation, where they get compacted, they get pressed together, and then they get cemented together, where then it becomes that new rock. It becomes that sedimentary rock, and that's when we see the layers of the rock. And all those layers kind of line up on each other, and then they get compacted together. Bet you that woke you up. If you were trying to sleep through this, I just woke you up. They get pressed together, and then they get cemented together. And that's how you get your sedimentary rocks, okay? We're going to go back down. I'm sorry if you get motion sickness. So we get weathering, erosion, and deposition, and then we form our sedimentary rocks. Now, we go from our sedimentary rocks. Let's follow our arrows. We apply heat and pressure. We're going to make a metamorphic rock. And metamorphic rocks, this happens deep underground. And remember, we have to apply a lot of heat and a lot of pressure. And that's where we get those wavy lines, okay? And remember, it starts with an F. When we see those lines, they are foliated. Good job. I know you said it. At home, I know you all know your vocab. It's foliated. Good job. Good job. Okay, so now if I have a metamorphic rock, I had my sedimentary rock. It had all that heat and pressure applied to it. I got a metamorphic rock. Now if I take that metamorphic rock and I melt it, I just apply a bunch of heat to it and I melt it, and then it cools off, it becomes back to an igneous rock. So that's if I start with an igneous rock and it goes through all of those stages. Because weathering and erosion, deposition, then heat and pressure, and then it melts. It can go the other way. You can start with an igneous rock. You can apply heat and pressure. It can become a metamorphic. You can go from a metamorphic then. You can do weathering and erosion. It can become a sedimentary. You can do a sedimentary. You can melt it and it can become an igneous. Okay, you can start anywhere on our rock cycle, and your rocks can become any of the other rocks if given the right conditions. Okay, that's why this triangle right here is so important. I feel like I need to highlight it in red. I should have colored it red. That's why this triangle is so important. Any of our rocks can become another rock if it's given the right conditions. So I feel like that might help explain the rock cycle a little bit better. So if I give you a sedimentary rock and I tell you I want to apply heat and pressure, what kind of rock am I going to turn into? Good, a metamorphic rock. I'm at sedimentary, I'm applying heat and pressure, I'm becoming metamorphic. If I'm an igneous rock and I am weathering and eroding, what am I becoming? A sedimentary rock. I'm weathering, eroding, deposition. I'm becoming sedimentary. So as long as you have the right conditions, you can become any type of rock. Okay, I've included this graphic organizer on the Google slide for you if you want it. If you don't need it. But it's there for you if you need it. I hope this helped clear up the rock cycle a little bit for you. If you guys have any questions, please join the Zoom meeting today. Yeah, or email me or give me a phone call. Have a good day, guys.